Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. We have a long weekend ahead of me. It's Labor Day weekend, and I hope to spend most of it in the garage here, working on the Volkswagen. I would like to get the brake master cylinder and the battery box in their correct positions, and even some bracketry done. There's much to think about, and I've spent a lot of time sitting and staring and thinking, and this is kind of what I've come up with. The first thing that I wanted to do, was on those corners right there. I cut the corner off because it was running into that little cross member. That allowed me to drop this whole battery box down about an inch and scoot it back 1/4 of an inch. It's kind of amazing how much space that got me, but that's really good because that gave me much more room for the master cylinder. And I think that's where that's going to go. And I've got that little 1/4 inch plate there as a spacer. And I kind of picked that because I've got some 1/8 inch plexiglass that I was sort of planning on putting over the top of this, but I may opt out of that and just put sheet metal on top of this. Just to give me some more room for that, because that's really as close as I could get it. So that's okay. Okay, so we got some success. This whole brake master cylinder thing has been one of my biggest concerns, honestly, up until this whole build. Putting the drive unit in the back and figuring out where the battery is going, all that stuff has not concerned me. It's just this brake situation. A brief recap: there's not enough room back here for a traditional vacuum a vacuum brake booster. Not enough room back there, so I had to come up with something else. And I'd found this one company that does kind of a relocation kit where they take the pivot point of the brake lever inside and sort of move it up a little bit, and then move the entire master cylinder up a little bit. But that just, on a sort of physics math way, that just didn't make any sense to me. You're increasing your torque, but you're also increasing your volume of, anyway, you can go back and look at other videos. I did kind of in-depth talk about that. So I wanted electronic brakes, and I wasn't really sure how to do that because, again, this battery box was in the way. But then I just went ahead and bought this is kind of the same as a TSLA brake booster, but this one's out of a CRV, I think. Lots of cars have both electronic steering assist and also electronic brakes. So I went ahead and bought this thing and put it on there just to see how it fits, and lo and behold, it fits just fine. And I was at work, like I showed you, and made that plate right there on the booster side. And then I'd already made this plate that's on the firewall. And then I had this thing sort of balanced with weights and shims and all kinds of stuff, and got it kind of where I wanted it. Made 2 little brackets and welded them in place. These are very temporary, but they are proof of concept that this is going to actually work. And then I can replace those brackets with more rigid ones. And there is plenty of room. There's just barely enough room, but there's enough room under there that if I decide to put plexiglass on this box, I'll have plenty of room. And what I'll probably end up doing is I'll put plexiglass on the front, where it could potentially be open for like a car show or something, but on the back, where all of this stuff is going to be all closed in, this is all going to be closed in. So on the back, I'll just put sheet metal, and I don't know. That's way down the future. I'm not worried about that too much. To get this thing bled should be pretty easy with the lines being straight up like that. This reservoir is going to be kind of tricky because when I put fluid in, it's going to come in right there and there's going to be an air bubble. So what I'll probably end up having to do is undo the 2 little mounts there, pull this out, rotate it 90 degrees, fill up the reservoir, and then just twist it over and put that back on just to get the air out of the reservoir. And then once it's out, then that'll be into that. And then I'll have a remote mounted reservoir. I don't know where, somewhere. That's again, that is easy problem to solve. But yeah, man, that's really, really cool. I went ahead and got on Amazon, and ordered some rubber mounts for this battery box. I got these little dudes, and I think these are probably fine. I couldn't actually find a spec for how much weight they're supposed to put, but there'd be at least 4 of them, and this battery box is about 700 pounds. So that means each one of these would, get like 200 pounds or less. And I'm sure they're beefy enough for that, but they didn't look beefy enough. So I went on there and got some just sort of generic transmission mounts, and I got 4 of them. And what I'll do is I'll just bolt them straight down to this cross member, and then I'll have 2 mounts in the front, and then have 2 back here somewhere. And then they've got bolts that stick up out of them. Then when I go to install this battery box, I'll just bring it in, drop it in straight, and then just install the nuts on top of those mounts. Now it'll be overkill. There won't be any sort of vibration dampening because the rubber will be too solid, but it will isolate it electronically from the chassis, and there will be a little bit of vibration dampening, but like I say, not much. But that's okay. And yeah, so that's where I'm at now. Now the next thing to do is make a better bracket for that. I want to make it so it's like airtight, so that hole that's going back into my engine compartment doesn't let in air and water and stuff. So I'll close this all in and make it look nice, and that's next. All right. Well, a couple hours later, and I have not progressed at all. The problem that I've got is I need to be able to install this thing and remove it. So I need to have access. I got 4 bolts on the master cylinder side, and I got 3 bolts on the firewall side. I need to be able to get access to those things. One down here on the bottom. I have to be able to get my hand in here. Keeping in mind that at some point this is going to all be probably full of stuff. The way assembly is going to work, I think, in my brain, is I'm going to have this battery box mounted permanently, and then everything else will just sort of be built around it. Because once this master cylinder is in, this battery box ain't coming out. So the battery box will be the first thing to get mounted in here permanently. So I'll have this thing all painted and ready to go, either with or without batteries installed. And then everything else will get built around it. I'm sure that will present some problems later down the road, but as far as access goes. But anyway, I need to get in here, and I can reach this from this side, and I can reach this bottom one from the other side, and I can reach this top one from here. But if I put any kind of structure in here, I lose my access to that, and I have to be able to hold the bolt and tighten the thing. I could do more structure here on the sides, but like I say, then I have to be able to, this is about as low as I can get this. I can build it up higher, maybe come up here a little bit, but this is about as low as I can get this. I maybe be able to put on the bottom anyway, have a piece that goes across the top here, but have it on the bottom in the center. But yeah, this is kind of a problem. Got to be able to work on stuff. All right, there it is. That is a very satisfying little mount. I'm gonna have to go back on my videos and see when I started fretting about this power brake situation, but that is it. Let's see how it looks installed. All right, there it is in place. I think it looks great. I got a little excited. The paint wasn't quite dry, so I touched it. So it looks good. I don't have it tightened down. I put this little boot on there. That's what was on the original Volkswagen vacuum booster, to sort of keep the outside out. But it kind of gets in the way of those little bolts. So I may have to rethink that. But anyway, It's on there. It looks great. I got plenty of clearance. I haven't tried to get the battery box out yet with that in there. Super bonus points if I can. But yeah, and in the meantime, what have I been up to? I've been up to some stuff. Got some stuff to do down here underneath. Yeah, got this whole bottom underneath ripped out. The reason is because I need to put a tow bar back there. And to do that, I just needed to get some access in here. I need to get access to those those frame members right there. When the leaves were in the way, that I just couldn't get it. Both sides. I'll take this wiring out and probably end up rebuilding a good part of that structure right there, where that's flat right there. That's where the spring shackle goes all the way back. So I have to respect that. I can't get in too close to that, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this just yet. But as with all these things, I'll just sit here and look at it for a little while, and eventually an answer will come to me. The other thing I need to do is get up under here with my scraper and finish doing that. I also need to final weld this cross member, because that's definitely going to be there. 99% sure these brackets are still going to be here, because that's I'll know for sure when I get the axles back from Dutchman if these stay here. But I mean, 99% sure they will. But I'm not going to finish weld them until I know for sure. And what else while I'm down here? There's some rust. I kind of half-assed this the first time I tried to do rust repair. So I'm going to probably cut this out and put it in a better section right here. I think I just left it like this because, you know, you can't see it and it doesn't really matter. But while I'm down here and got everything apart, I might as well. So that's that should occupy quite a bit of my time for the rest of the day. So all right, last part. I have been scraping and stuff for hours, and I got all this stuff scraped out of the wheel wells. Got it all. It's hard to say if I got it all. Like, you could get really OCD with this and spend days on it. I think if I had a rotisserie, if I could flip this thing upside down, I might be a little bit more, I might try and get a little bit more out of it. But being that I don't, I think I'm going to call this good. The other side. Got it too. It's good. It looks good. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some rust mort. It's like some rust reversing stuff. I did find some more rust holes. Joy. Yeah, so this is much better. The next thing I'm going to do is, like I was saying before, I'm going to go ahead and put that tow bar on it. It's actually right there, probably. I'm going to make that into a tow bar somehow. I'm not exactly sure how, but that's the next thing I need to, like I said, I'll also need to weld this. I just kind of got involved with this, started doing it, and man, I don't want to do it again. So there's going to be some spots that I missed that I'll come back and hit, but for the most part, I got it. And this is the pile that I created. The rest of it, what's not in this pile, is in my hair, and it's in my ears, it's in my pants, it's in my shirt. I feel disgusting. So it's about 94 degrees in the garage here. It's humid. It's back to Tennessee summer. We had a little break last week. We had some rain come through. It was wonderful. So I'm going to finish cleaning this mess up, and I'm going to go jump in the river, and then I think we're going to go eat. But I believe I'm done for the night and for the weekend. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.